So you're scrolling through Instagram and you see them. The people who made it. The ones posting from business class, closing deals, talking about their investments. And you're sitting there at your desk job thinking, what do they know that I don't? You work hard. You're smart. You show up every day. But somehow they're building empires while you're still trying to figure out how to save an extra $500 a month. Here's the thing that nobody tells you. Successful people aren't more talented than you. They're not smarter. They don't have secret knowledge or connections you can't access. They just have different habits. And those habits compound over years into results that look like magic, but are actually just math. Hi there, my name is Prosper, and I spend way too much time thinking about why some people build massive wealth while others work just as hard and stay broke their entire lives. If you're someone who feels stuck watching other people succeed while you can't seem to break through to the next level, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Look, back in medieval times, there were merchants who built dynasties that lasted centuries. The Medicis, the Fuggers, families that started with nothing and ended up financing kings and popes. But here's what's interesting. They weren't lucky. They weren't born into wealth. They just consistently did 8 specific things that peasants and knights didn't do. The peasants worked hard. The knights fought bravely. But the merchants got wealthy. Why? Because success isn't about working hard. It's about having the right systems. Let me show you the 8 habits that separate the people who make it from the people who stay stuck. Habit 1. They pay themselves first. Here's what most people don't realize. Successful people have a completely different relationship with money than broke people. When a broke person gets paid, they pay everyone else first. Rent, bills, subscriptions, groceries, and if there's anything left over, which there usually isn't, maybe they save it. Successful people do the exact opposite. The moment their paycheck hits, before they do anything else, they pay themselves. 20% goes straight to investments, automatically, non-negotiable. According to a study by Fidelity, millionaires saved an average of 20 to 30% of their income throughout their working years. The average American saves about 3.5% according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Here's the math. If you make $60,000 a year and save 3.5%, you're saving $2,100 per year. Over 30 years at 8% returns, that's $245,000. If you save 20%, that's $12,000 per year. Over 30 years, that's $1.47 million. Same person, same income. The only difference is they paid themselves first. That's a $1.2 million difference from one habit. Medieval merchants understood this. They always took their profit first before paying suppliers, before expanding, before anything. The business served them. They didn't serve the business. Habit 2. They track every dollar. This is where it gets really interesting. Successful people know exactly where their money goes. Not roughly. Not kind of. Exactly. They track every transaction, every coffee, every subscription, every impulse purchase. And they review it weekly. Now you might be thinking, that sounds exhausting. And you're right, it is. But you know what's more exhausting? Being broke at 60 because you had no idea where $4,000 a month disappeared to for 30 years. According to research by Mint, people who track their spending save 3 times more than people who don't. The average person thinks they spend about $2,500 a month. When they actually track it, It's closer to $3,500. That's $1,000 a month they didn't even know they were spending. Over a year, that's $12,000. Over a decade, that's $120,000 plus lost investment returns. Medieval merchants kept detailed ledgers. Every coin in, every coin out. They knew their numbers better than anyone. That's not micromanagement. That's mastery. Habit 3. They increase income aggressively. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You can't save your way to wealth on a $45,000 salary. Broke people focus on cutting expenses. Successful people focus on increasing income. They're always learning new skills, negotiating raises, switching jobs, starting side businesses. According to data from the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta, people who switch jobs earn 7 to 8% more on average than people who stay. If you switch jobs every 3 years instead of staying 10 years, you could earn 25 to 30% more by the end of the decade. Let's do the math. You make $60,000 at age 25. Path A, the loyal employee. Stay at same company, get 3% annual raises. Age 35. Making $80,634. Age 45. Making $108,347. Path B, the strategic job. Hopper. Switch jobs every 3 years, get 8% bumps. Age 35. Making $129,842. Age 45. Making $280,598. Same person, same skills. One makes almost 3 times more because they understood that loyalty to a company that won't make you rich is just leaving money on the table. Successful people are ruthless about income growth. They treat their earning power like a business that needs to scale. Habit 4. They automate everything. This is the habit that separates pretenders from the real deal. Successful people don't rely on willpower or discipline. They automate good decisions so they can't make bad ones. Every dollar that should be saved or invested, automatically transferred the day after payday. Bills, auto-pay, investments, auto-purchase. They remove the decision from the equation. According to research from the Journal of Consumer Research, people who automate their savings save 2.5 times more than people who manually transfer money. Why? Because manual transfers require willpower every single month. And willpower fails. You get stressed. You see something you want. You tell yourself, I'll save extra next month. But next month never comes. Medieval guilds understood this. They had mandatory contributions, automatically deducted. You didn't get a choice, and that's why guild members built wealth while individual craftsmen stayed broke. Habit 5. They live below their means permanently. Here's where most people screw this up completely. They get a raise, and immediately their lifestyle expands to match it. Nicer apartment, nicer car, more expensive restaurants. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's why people making $150,000 feel just as broke as people making $50,000. Successful people do something different. They get a raise, and their lifestyle stays exactly the same. That extra money goes straight to investments. According to Thomas Stanley's research in The Millionaire Next Door, 80% of millionaires live in middle-class neighborhoods and drive used cars. They could afford the mansion and the Porsche. They choose not to. Here's the math. You make $70,000 and live on $50,000. You invest the $20,000 difference. You get a raise to $90,000. Instead of living on $70,000 now, you still live on $50,000. Now you're investing $40,000 per year. At 8% returns, you'll have $1 million in 13.5 years. If you let lifestyle inflation eat those raises, you'll work for 40 years and never hit $1 million. Medieval merchants lived in modest homes, even as their wealth grew. They understood that looking rich and being rich are opposites. The people in the castle were usually in debt. The people in the counting house owned the castle. Habit 6. They read obsessively. Successful people are learning machines. They read books, listen to podcasts, watch educational content constantly. Not for fun, for strategy. Warren Buffett reads 500 pages a day. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year. The average CEO reads 60 books per year according to a survey by Fast Company. The average American reads 4 books per year, according to Pew Research. But here's what's more important than quantity. They read to solve specific problems. How do I negotiate better? How do real estate deals work? What tax strategies do wealthy people use? They're not reading fiction. They're reading instruction manuals for wealth. And here's the kicker. Most of the knowledge that makes people wealthy is free. You don't need an MBA. You need a library card and discipline. Habit 7. They network with intention. This is where it gets really interesting. Broke people network randomly. They go to events, collect business cards, connect on LinkedIn, and nothing happens. Successful people network with surgical precision. They identify the 5 to 10 people who could most impact their trajectory. Then they add value to those people's lives until a relationship forms. Not transactionally, strategically. According to research by the Harvard Business Review, 85% of jobs are filled through networking. But more importantly, your network determines your net worth. If your 5 closest friends make $50,000, you probably make $50,000. If they make $200,000, you probably make close to that. Medieval guilds and merchant associations weren't social clubs. They were networks of people who helped each other access opportunities, capital, and information that outsiders couldn't get. The merchants who joined the right guilds got rich. The ones who stayed isolated stayed small. Habit 8. They take calculated risks. Here's the final habit that separates successful people from everyone else. They're willing to be uncomfortable. Starting a business is uncomfortable. Asking for a 30% raise is uncomfortable. Moving to a new city for opportunity is uncomfortable. Investing when the market crashes is uncomfortable. Broke people avoid discomfort at all costs. They choose the familiar over the optimal. They stay at the safe job, with the safe salary, in the safe city, with the safe investment strategy. Successful people understand that every significant leap requires discomfort, not reckless risk. Calculated risk based on asymmetric upside. According to research by Thomas Corley, 27% of millionaires started at least one business. Of billionaires, 75% are self-made entrepreneurs. They risked comfort for potential. But here's what people get wrong. They don't risk everything. They calculate. What's the worst case? Can I survive it? What's the best case? Is it worth the potential downside? Medieval merchants who risked everything on one ship lost everything when storms hit. Merchants who sent 10 ships, knowing 2 might sink, they became dynasties. Now you might be thinking, okay, Prosper, but these all seem like small things. How do they create massive success? This is the part most people miss. These habits compound. Paying yourself first means you have money to invest. Tracking spending means you find more money to invest. Increasing income means you have more to invest. Automating means you actually do invest. Living below your means means lifestyle doesn't eat your gains. Reading means you invest smarter. Networking means you access better opportunities. Taking risks means you scale faster. It's not one habit. It's the system of habits working together. According to James Clear's research in Atomic Habits, improving by 1% every day means you're 37 times better at the end of a year due to compound effects. That's what these habits do. They compound. Year 1, you're marginally better. Year 5, you're noticeably ahead. Year 10, you're in a completely different financial universe than your peers who didn't implement these systems. All right, here's exactly how you implement these starting today. This week, set up automatic transfers. 20% of paycheck to investments, day after payday. Download a spending tracker, Mint, YNAB, or even just a spreadsheet. Calculate your current income trajectory and research what your role pays elsewhere. Make a list of the 5 people in your field you most want to connect with. This month, read one business or finance book. Start with The Millionaire Next Door. Calculate your current cost of living and commit to that number for the next raise. Automate all bills and investments. Reach out to one person on your networking list with genuine value. This year, track every dollar for 90 days to find leaks. Ask for a raise or switch jobs for an 8% plus income bump. Start one calculated side project. Review and adjust automation quarterly. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. One habit at a time. Stack them over months until they're automatic. Look, I need to be honest with you about something that's going to sting. If you don't change your habits, your financial situation won't change. 5 years from now, you'll be making slightly more money, but feeling exactly the same way. 10 years from now, you'll watch the people who implemented these systems living completely different lives while you're still grinding. According to research by the Federal Reserve, people who implement systematic wealth-building habits in their 20s and 30s accumulate 10 times more wealth by retirement than people who try to save when they can. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's habits. Medieval dynasties lasted centuries, not because one person was brilliant, but because they institutionalized good habits. The Medici family had rules about how money was handled. The Fugger family had systems for training the next generation. These weren't left to chance. You're choosing right now whether you'll be the peasant who works hard and dies broke, or the merchant who builds systems and creates generational wealth. The 8 habits are simple. Pay yourself first, 20% minimum. Track every dollar. Know your numbers. Increase income aggressively. Switch jobs. Learn skills. Scale. Automate everything. Remove decisions. Life below your means permanently. No lifestyle inflation. Read obsessively. 60 books per year. Network with intention. 5 key relationships. Take calculated risks. Asymmetric upside. You now know what successful people do differently. The question is, are you going to do it? Most people won't. They'll watch this video, think that's interesting, and change nothing. They'll still be broke in 10 years wondering what went wrong. But you're different. You're still here. That means something. So pick one habit. Just one. Implement it this week. Master it. Then add the next one. In 6 months, you'll have a completely different financial operating system than 99% of people. Hit that subscribe button if this gave you the blueprint you've been looking for. Drop a comment telling me which habit you're implementing first. And share this with someone who's ready to stop making excuses and start building wealth. The medieval merchants are watching. Make them proud. I'm Prosper, and I'll see you in the next one.